Hey, what's going on guys? John here, and today I actually wanted to do a in-depth video review on the Maxi-Cosi rotating child car seat. So in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the installation on this. I'll show you some of the features, show you some of the accessories that this came with, and then I'll give you a use case of how I'm actually using this in our car. So one of the main reasons I actually bought this, first of all, is I have here a 2017 Mustang. Now, with any typical newer Mustang, this is something where you normally would have to bring the seat up. As you can see here, there are no rear doors. So I really wanted something that had this rotational feature so that when I take my daughter out places in the Mustang, let's say we decide as a family to go out to a car show, I wanted to make it a lot easier to load her into the actual vehicle. This also allows me to continue to use my actual driver's seat without adjusting the settings every time she gets in and out. Of course, if you've ever adjusted your seat in your car, you know that it can be a little bit annoying to go and have to find like where was that exact setting. So with this car seat, I can actually rotate the entire base. As you can see, this spins on the base. So on the rear passenger side, I can spin this around. If you have this in something more traditional, like in this case, we have another car seat in our SUV here, this would basically allow us to rotate it towards us, and we could load, I can load my daughter right in basically at the door. So either way you look at this, this is going to be extremely beneficial for that feature alone. In terms of installation, you have a couple options here. You have the top brace there, which typically is going to be used if you have like the forward facing setup. In this case, I'm actually able to utilize both. I have the hook going up through the top, which basically you have a large belt you tighten, and then there's also the two pieces you have down here on the base. So just kind of looking at this, there's pretty much down here on the left and the right, there's buckles that go in and hitch to the actual rear of the seat. This basically gives you really good directions all right on the actual frame and base. So it gives you a pretty good idea what's going on. And then something else that they did that's really cool is they have this green and red indicator that shows up both on the left and the right. And this basically lets you know, is this actually tight? Like, is this fully in the position it's supposed to be, so it's actually safe? So this basically goes from red to green, and as you can see, it's green, which means that this is pretty sturdy. So if I move this around, I'm not really getting any play at all. I really can't move it much at all. Like, I probably can't even get it to move more than about ½ an inch, even with some good pressure. So I did see some people were saying, oh, it's not tight enough, but this really just comes down to adjusting the belt properly, going through this vehicle belt lock-off piece, this comes up, and then latching it through and having everything be as tight as possible through the back. Now, with the car seat itself, you have the ability to raise the headrest here. So this will actually come up. So as your child gets older, they're going to have a lot more room there. You have some really nice padding. The straps are pretty nice. You've also got something on the back here. It's almost like a, it's not something that comes off, but it's like a very light, sticky fabric, if you will. So if this goes over your child's shoulder, this isn't going to easily slide, off of their shoulder. So something that I've had happen with another car seat is, we put the shoulder straps on, and then before you know it, even though we put the centerpiece all the way up to the top, she somehow managed to, kind of move this off to the side, and she's just climbing out of it. Very unsafe. So with this, because of the way they designed this, that's not going to happen. Now, you also have a clip here that's very easy to remove, take on and off. It clips in super, super easy. So I didn't really have too many issues with that. It's almost partially magnetic. So there you can see the clip going in, and then you also have your main seat belt here. You can adjust the tightness of this with a button here up at the front. So very, very easy to do. And then you also have this button up here at the front, which is fairly easy. It's big enough you can get your hand in here. This allows you to get the locking mechanism for the rear. You also have these large sections here you can use to kind of grip and rotate as needed. But essentially what happens is this will go all the way into a position here. You can hear it lock, and now essentially this is good to go, right? This isn't moving anywhere. The base is now locked to the seat. And anytime we want to move this, most likely you will need to use 2 hands to do this, especially if your child's in the seat. But you're going to push this, and I might even be able to use my shoulder since I'm filming. And now you can see this is unlocked, and I'm able to kind of rotate this back, and I can bring this all the way around and load or unload, your child here. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this. It took a little bit of time to set up and get it up and running, but for a solution here in my car, if we step back here, I'll even just show you kind of the full setup of the car. You could see that in this car, right, this is super convenient to be able to just climb over and load her in here. And I found that with a car seat like this is not something that would have been possible if I didn't have the rotating base. I would have had to climb in from the driver's side. It just would have been so much more difficult to get her in and out. So I really like what Maxi-Cosi did, not only with the rotational base, but also the fact that you've got that green indicator to let you know it's tight. This will work for your child up to 10 years old. And then of course, on top of that, you also have those shoulder straps, which have that material that's going to make it so they can't really easily slip and slide out of the actual car seat. So overall, very happy with this, and I do recommend it. I think if you're looking for a really nice car seat for your child, this is definitely one worth checking out. Thanks for watching my video review, and I hope you found it helpful.